Have you guys ever considered, can I do junk removal in my area? Do I have enough of a population? Is there enough of a need for it? I hear about it all the time on YouTube. People talking about make $1,000 a day with your pickup truck alone, get a trailer and triple it. Go around and post on Facebook and Nextdoor and Craigslist. Super easy. It's free to do, and I can haul away people's trash for money. That's a great deal. How can I sign up? Have you ever thought about it and looked into it and like, oh, everyone's doing this and they're making $500, $1,000 a day, $10,000 a week, $50,000 a month. How can I do that? Right? If you've ever thought about that, it's not a bad spot to be. It is true. Junk removal can be very lucrative because of the way it has shaped over the years. And it is a luxury service. It's a convenience service. If you are broke, if you have other means to handling your own stuff in your house when it is time to go, you will not be calling junk removal. Why would you? Why would I pay someone $250 to remove a couch I don't want anymore when I have the means of getting rid of it on my own? You start thinking like that, and you start thinking, oh man, well, half the people in my city, my more high-end city, my more blue-collar city, will they even want to consider using me? Great question. So in my opinion, even in a smaller population, I think junk removal can thrive. You might not be pulling volume like 1-800-GOT-JUNK does, but I think you can do pretty well, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is, in my county, in southeast Florida, I have 1.6 million people in it. That's a hefty number for one county. I don't even visit my tri-county. I only stick to my county. But more importantly, I very thoroughly stick to my city alone, which is 157,000 people, roughly. I'm sure it's changed quite a bit because everyone's coming down here from up north because nobody likes New York anymore, I guess, or New Jersey. But I focus heavily on my city and the two cities around me. So let's take that 1.6 and chop it into, quarters. Let's say I'm a little closer to probably 350,000 people that I deal with on a daily basis. Now, if you live in a more rural area, that might be your population for your county. And there's nothing wrong with that. The thing to keep in mind is this. Who is my target audience? Who are the people that are likely going to call me? Of all the general public, let's just go ahead and assume that most people from the ages of 18 to about 30 can probably handle a good chunk of their stuff on their own if they needed to. Keyword is need to. If you needed to get a couch out to the curb, is it the easiest thing for a general untrained individual who maybe lacks some strength to be able to pull it out of their door? It would be difficult, but it is doable by all means. Stick it on side, slide out the door, drag it on the ground. It's trash, it doesn't matter. But when you start getting into the late 40s, 50s, 60s, people start getting a little bit more out of shape, a little bit less strength level. Not all, but some, right? You start getting to a senior level. I wouldn't want my own mom trying to drag anything out the door. So I would anticipate them being more likely to use junk removal. We got the age, right? Nowadays, there is a lot of sickness. There's a lot of injury. People have bad knees. They have bad hips. They have bad backs. A lot of people are in general just cautious about doing anything drastic on their own. And moving a couch could be drastic to some people. I hear it on a daily basis when they see me do it. And you have to assume that that population would also consider using junk removal. You have your more wealthy people, those who make so much money and or care so much about their time that they would happily pay somebody else up to hundreds of dollars an hour to do it for them instead so they can focus on their life. In addition, you have the more lazy, those who will happily, well, maybe not happily, but they'll pay you because they don't want to do it. And they'll probably complain about it the whole time as well, which that's what you get for being lazy. So we're focusing on these people that see the service for what it is, a convenience, a luxury. Out of all those people, let's not forget about the outside sources that could use junk removal still. Businesses, all businesses. You have trades, restaurants, retail stores, small mom and pop shops, coffee shops, little gift shops, anything that has product coming in and out will most likely have boxes. Now, boxes, depending on the time of year and inventory, sometimes have an accumulation, especially around the holidays, big sales, and get more inventory in because they expect to sell more of it out. But there is an operation to every business. They have inventory checks. They have to maintain a certain level of cleanliness and safety, and you can't have a big pile of junk sitting in your back area. That's not going to affect that. So every now and then you have an accumulation of trash and they need that out. Maybe their dumpster isn't very big. Maybe their recycling dumpster isn't very big. Maybe their compactor, which most retail stores have, is full and they need to start putting stuff out by the dumpster. But guess what? Then the city complains, hey, you can't put all this crap out here. I've worked in all retail stores. I'm familiar with that. That is one point where junk removal can come in handy. Let's go on. Apartment buildings. Apartment buildings have residents that live in it. Residents do not give a flying fuck about the apartment building. I assure you, my fiance is in property management for 10 plus years. People will bring stuff down and dump by the dumpster because they can do it themselves, but they don't have a means to get rid of it and they're not going to go that far. So they'll just bring it down in the middle of the night and leave it by the dumpster. Big old mattress, couch, table, a bunch of chairs, whatever. They don't care. They didn't get caught. They're not going to get fined for it. Not yet. But now the apartment building has a dumpster with a bunch of bulk trash around it. They can't do anything with it. They're not going to load it up in a truck and bring it to the dump. And the city most likely will complain and say, hey, our guys are coming by to pick up your dumpster, but you have a mattress and a couch sitting in front of it, leaning against it. Our guys are not being paid to go out and move that stuff for you to take your dumpster. You need to do something about that within the next 30 days, or we're going to fine you X amount to have another truck come out and get those items. And usually that fine isn't a cheap price. So that's where junk removal can come into play. Or they have an eviction. Somebody leaves all the crap behind. Maintenance oftentimes will deal with that. But sometimes maintenance has a lot going on. They have repairs, they have evictions, they have other tenants they have to meet and they have to attend to. So sometimes it doesn't make sense for them to pull away from their job to go handle this one eviction that might take some time and or have the dumpster space to hold all that stuff. That's where junk removal would come in. Storage units. Very, very huge boom in the storage auction in the last 10 years. Nowadays, somebody will go by and buy a storage unit that was evicted that has a refrigerator and a tire in it and a trash bag, pay somebody $5 to buy that unit to then be responsible to clean it out. How do I know? Because I did that once. I was exploring my options. It was fun. I used the tire for a workout for a little while before I got rid of it. I scrapped the refrigerator and the bag I threw out my own trash. I spent $5. I got a little bit of social media content. It was fun to do. But sometimes those units don't go out. Or, and I'll show you a good example because I know if I continue down this way and make a left, I will see a big old pile of trash over by the wall that people have been adding to every single week. And I've tried reaching out to the manager and they don't want to answer my call. But eventually that will become a problem. And guess what? That's where junk removal comes in. Illegal dumping. Realtors deal with the buy and sell process of a home, apartment, condo, property, commercial property, whatever. There is a good chance that they are going to come across a situation where somebody is buying or selling a house, needs to get rid of stuff before they moved, after they move, or they bought a house and it's already full. There was a passing away, something abandoned, someone inherited a house, it's full of crap, they don't know what to do with it. That's where junk removal comes in because it's such a large process. It's so overwhelming. They can't even fathom doing it themselves. So they hire a professional. Junk removal. Senior living facilities. One of my favorite places to go to. Literally. I'm a vendor at like 13 of them. The unfortunate thing about senior living facilities is that seniors often go there when they are unable to live at home on their own anymore. They need special care. Of that, when people move in, they're usually coming from 3, 4 bedroom houses that they've lived in for 50 years because that's what that generation did. And they have a lot of stuff. But when you move into a senior living facility, usually your room is less than 500 square feet and you can't bring all your stuff with you, which means there's a lot of stuff that's going to be left over, donatable, sure, but probably some trash too. That's where junk removal comes in. On top of that, while you're there, people relocate from unit to unit. They move from a larger unit to a smaller unit, such as memory care. It's a very small unit. Or, unfortunately, they pass away. Family comes in, they take the photo albums, they take a couple of things that reminded them of their childhood. The rest stays behind. They have no need for it. Junk removal comes in. And the list goes on. There are umpteen things out there that you can do for junk removal that don't involve your general population. There are businesses. Every and any business could potentially use junk removal. Property management companies. You have a plaza of 15 stores. Not even the stores themselves, but let's say somebody goes around the back alley and starts dropping off mattresses every week because it's free for them to do, even though it's illegal. But now the property management has to maintain it for the city code, and now they need junk removal to come in and pick up all this crap people keep dropping off every month. Gas stations. Gas stations are typically open 24/7, depending on your area. People go out back late at night. They'll park there as if they're just hanging out. They'll dump a mattress back along the ditch along the wall. They'll throw out a bunch of trash. It happens every day. But guess what? The city comes by. Hey, you need to keep this place up to maintenance. All right, let me call a junk removal company. What I'm trying to get to is there are 1,000 ways that junk removal can be utilized. Not everybody is going to be your client. Not everybody is going to want to pay $500, $1,000 to get rid of crap they don't want anymore. They don't have the value for. They don't need anymore. It's crazy to think about, but it happens. And it is becoming a more popular service, more well-known, and more accepted in the general community, which means that, yes, you can go out and do junk removal. You don't have to have a full-blown business, depending on your state. Check your state statutes. But for the most part, you can just get a pickup truck. You can do what I did when I started and go get a U-Haul, all different sizes, pickup truck, cargo van, 10 foot, 14 foot, 16 foot, 20 foot, 26 foot, whatever. Go out, say, yeah, I'll come pick up your stuff, $250, done. You go out there, you take payment, whether if you don't have a business, you do cash, Zelle, check, whatever, Venmo, Cash App, doesn't matter. And then you go get rid of it at the local dump, local transfer station, you donate it, you resell it, whatever. Just don't illegal dump. And then you return the truck and you go back home. You made $250 plus potential resale value. That's it. And then you just do that over and over again. There are a lot of ways to start. There are a lot of ways to grow. And yes, I think at the end of the day, your general population, despite size, can likely use junk removal. But I wouldn't go quitting my day job just quite. I would treat it as a side hustle at first. Do it for a year. And you're not so much looking at, oh, can I match my salary in that year? What I would actually look at is, do I have consistent flow of income each month? If I make $1,000 the first month and I make $4,000 the next month, damn, $4,000, that's more than I make in my current job. Let's get off and do this. What about the next month? What if you make $1,200 again? It's a little low. I can pay a couple bills down, but I'm not going to be able to handle my everyday expenses. The next month, $3,000. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Not the same as $4,000, but that takes care of everything. The following month, $500. This is a slow month. That happens to all of us. The following month after that, $6,000. Big, big, big money. It keeps going. It's up and down, up and down. You would have to make a decision at that point. Do you want to take the risk? You've seen the big months. Can you balance that out? Can you do more marketing in the slow months? Can you do more services? Can you do more resale to make up for the loss of income? That's a decision you have to make. But if you are at a point where you do it for a couple of months, you get the feel for things, you learn better marketing, better strategy, work a little bit more efficiently, you're able to resell or donate so you don't have to spend as much money at the dumps, super. Let's say now you get to a point where the first 4 months go by, the last 8 months, maybe you're doing an average of $1,500 every month. You're between $1,200 and like $2,000 every single month, consistent. And you're able to keep your expenses low. At that point, you're still doing this as a side hustle, part-time. You're only putting a few hours a day, a couple of hours a week into this. Imagine now, okay, we're consistent. We got this down. At what point could I quit my job to invest full time into this? And how much more can I scale this based off that time alone? That is when I would consider leaving your job to do this if this is something you want to do, but only if you want to do it. I wouldn't go looking at this as let me do it for 6 months, invest all this time and money, energy into growing something to only do it to make a couple of bucks and then go bounce off and do something else. You're welcome to do that if you want. It's experience. I don't know. It's a lot of work to just, fuck off in 6 months, but that's up to you. So at the end of the day, yes, I think a smaller population can be just as versatile as a larger population. The only difference is you're not going to have as much opportunity per your volume. So let's look at your population really quick. Let's say you have 300,000 people. Of that, let's just say 1 in 100 people actually even know what junk removal is or would even consider using it. That drops you down to 3,000 people. Big drop all of a sudden, just based off of knowledge alone, all right? Awareness. Of those 100 people, let's say 1 out of every 10 are your potential clients. And of those 10 people, that one person is likely to use you over the other competition to even find out about you. Maybe you're not as big, you don't have a following online, you don't have a CEO, whatever. Let's just say you're able to score 300 jobs a year off of that. Now, depending on your area, this is going to drastically differ, but let's say your average job is $350. Guess what? You just made $105,000 a year. Now, of that $105,000, you're not actually profiting $105,000. You have expenses, whether this is a business or not. And at that level of income, you do have to eventually do something legally. But you are still making $105,000 gross. And that is obviously a number that could be very huge to most people. And you can happily live off of that after expenses at your general profit. Assuming you're even pulling in, let's say in the beginning stages, 40% profit when you don't have employees and payroll and warehouses and 20 trucks. All right, let's say you're able to do 40%. What was that, $41,000? That's a decent salary for most people, not to mention the potential outside sources you have. You can resell your items to make more money, save on the dump fees. You can do other services. You can do move labor, you could do deliveries, you could do small move jobs. All these go hand in hand with junk removal. Maybe you're able to make an extra $15,000, $20,000 a year doing these extra things. Well, now you just made $41,000, but you actually made $61,000. Boom, easy. So what I would like to try to get across is that the general person who has heard about the boom in junk removal, who has interest in doing it, but is concerned about the fact that, well, is this a good thing in my area? I would say yes. Unless you live in a town of like 1,200 people where everybody does things themselves, you can likely succeed. You may not be as successful as other people, and guess what? Don't compare yourself to other companies, other people. That's a stupid thing to do. Don't say, oh, why is that guy making $200,000 a year and I'm making $50,000 a year? What's he doing differently? Probably a lot. And guess what? You're not him, so don't worry about it. Worry about yourself. So look into these things. A good way to tell if junk removal is going to be relatively successful in your area is to simply Google junk removal near me and see how many franchises you have. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, Junk King, Junk Luggers, College Hunks, goes on and on. There's a lot of them out there. If you have 1-800-GOT-JUNK near you, there's a good chance you can succeed in junk removal because they don't pick cities that aren't going to bring them in revenue. That's stupid. So if you have one within like a 5-10 mile radius of you, you're good to go. So I hope that gives you guys an idea if this would be successful in your area or not. I need to go in and grab some stuff because somebody's coming to pick up some stuff we're selling. And then we need to go give an estimate. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.